Hello and welcome back everyone to the West Coast Conference Gaming in Place Challenge here with ESL Collegiate for League of Legends. I'm Paul and Verum Todd Kill. That's Thomas TJ James, and we are on potentially the final game of our grand finals between Pepperdine and the University of San Francisco. TJ, this has been a pretty great series so far.
Yeah, game two, much less close than game one. I think Pepperdine cracked a few of the eggs that gave them trouble in that first match. Specifically, the top lane. We saw Scott get a lot more support. Diamond Crevasse almost didn't come to bot lane because he was so busy in the jungle for Pepperdine, hammering home K-Pulsar and making sure he didn't even get started.
Yeah, and I think identifying who one of those key components of the roster of the University of San Francisco, making sure that they were shut down was big for that dominant victory in game number 2. But let's get into the draft now for game number 3. Pepperdine looking to make this a clean sweep, and the boys over on the University of San Francisco looking to take us to game number 4. They don't want to go out like this. They identified Pepperdine as the team to beat going in to these finals, and beat them they've still yet to do.
Yeah, they still are the team to beat, quite literally.
Yep.
As they are the only team left to beat, which makes that calculation, I suppose, a little easier. I want to see in this draft phase a better bot lane, because I didn't particularly like Jin Nautilus. It turned out to be way better of a, or way less of a hindrance, let's phrase it that way, than I thought it would be. I also want to see Scott get something he can do good work on, and a lot of that doesn't necessarily come down, or sorry, K-Pulsar get something he can do good work on into Scott, and a lot of that doesn't necessarily come down to actually the top lane matchup, because a lot of top lane characters go pretty 50-50. It's going to be set into Aatrox or Renekton or something like that, and that'll go pretty dead even. But it comes down to the jungle matchup that is now increasingly dedicated in this match to supporting top lane. If you have set, he is a character that can get knocked out of lane in this meta, so having something that can have presence to back him up is very important right now.
And is that the Olaf?
I wouldn't be my first choice, because I think Olaf right now is just worse Trundle. In terms of just having a fast clear speed, being present in the early team fights as a damage threat, and then kind of fading off towards late. Trundle does that better than Olaf right now, so I don't really like that. And I also would have looked for something with a little bit more gank potential, to be honest. But it will be a fast clear speed for biggest jungle difference, so he can at least keep pace with the Graves, which has come out so reliably. That Graves actually banned out, which I missed.
Yeah, I think that's super important to note here. That Graves has been not like the loudest person at the party per se, but they've always been involved for sure.
Yeah, it's been a constant presence from the Graves in these team fights towards the end game. And it's something that I think, because of Graves' animations especially, people miss. It's a ton of very subtle projectiles in these very messy, flashy team fights, but he is chunking people out. Diamond Crevasse is reliably getting so far ahead that by the end of the game, people's HP in team fights is just functionally 30% less.
Yeah, and that's just, you're fighting from such a deficit already at that point. Interesting to note that Trundle is actually going to be banned out here as well. This time again, over on the side.
So they're trying to build a fast clear speed advantage over on UC San Francisco for their jungle play, and I like that idea. The problem is, I think there are enough options that Pepperdine will be fine. When you look at the jungle, Crevasse plays a lot of early game presence junglers. His main throughout the last season has been Evelyn. He plays Echo and Kayn. There's a lot he can bring to bear here. I don't think you can ban him out functionally.
And an interesting pickup here in the Aatrox is we could see another one of these support sets coming out that we've seen here in the West Coast Conference. potentially moving that down. And because the Nautilus picked up here, this is the first time we're going to see Kaga on something other than that Nautilus, forcing him to go anywhere else in his champion pool, which I like.
I maybe would have held that Aatrox for a moment longer because this bot lane AD carry can now be picked with the knowledge they'll be playing into support set. But I do like that they make that swap, because I certainly like Aatrox into Renekton much more than Set into Renekton.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, there's a wild, weird world where one of them could lane in mid, and we could see another support picked up here, but I find that very unlikely in the Gragas Yasuo combo. Hello, G2. Good to see you.
So this is exactly what I was talking about. You're not going to be able to stop a player with as wide a character pool as Damongrass has from getting a effective jungler. I think one of the things the Gragas offers that's really interesting, they're speccing into differently, is a lot of gank presence. And so far, not just in this series, but I would go so far as to say in this tournament, we haven't seen a lot of gank-heavy junglers. The Gragas has more potential to be relevant not only on the quick ganks, but also in the late game team fights as an actual damage source. This is much more specced as a team fight composition from Pepperdine Esports.
And this feels like a very different draft from Pepperdine. They're flexing in a totally different direction, and I love the fact that they're doing it because they're doing it a little bit prompted, but they weren't like hardcore banned out of it. They could have gone back to their tried and true, but they clearly love the mages here as well. We're actually going to be seeing not an AD carry, but the AP carry, the Syndra being laid down in that bottom lane match. Oh, potentially down there. The Yasuo was chilling there as well. So we'll see. Maybe they're actually going to switch this one up because and bring Windshield back. Hang on.
They have two mid lane characters as their bot lane. And now that I think about this, they have a ton of flexibility there. I would expect that this is Syndra ADC, but I have definitely seen on ladder some Yasuo ADC nonsense being pushed at high levels right now. I would file that under the nonsense category, though.
At that point, it's not the ADC, it's the APC.
You're right.
Carry coming on. I know it's force of habit. Position 1, if we're gonna take from other MOBAs, and it looks like it will be Yasuo.
Is it what position 1?
Oh, and
there we go. Good adjustment. Thank you, Observer.
Yes. Great team of observers as well. Want to give? I don't think we've missed a kill yet today. I should reference as well. So got to give a huge shout out to our observing team for coming in and a little bit of short notice as well to make this observing happen.
I don't think the observer made the right call.
What?
But they did. No, they're 100% right.
100% right. I trust them, TJ. 100%
they drift away. I was like, no, there's no way this Yasuo's going. He is. So what this means, like I said, I've seen a couple ADC Yasuo's pushed at the high levels. What this means into this specific matchup is that Varus isn't going to be able to do anything, which is really kind of fun. But you can't, like, the wind wall just denies all of Varus's camp.
Oh, 100%. And actually, you know, he's going to do okay into the LeBlanc in mid, but he's going to do so much better, or traditionally would do so much better into this, into Spirit Track.
He's level 1, he doesn't have it yet.
Okay, wind wall's a good ability. Yeah, I just love the fact that Spirit Track, he just doesn't really lose his lane, like, ever. He I'm going to make a mean comparison. He's a little double lifted. He never loses his lane, but he's never the reason his team wins.
Look at this, though. Really aggressive presence in the early game. Spirit Track's in trouble.
Oh boy, and now Kaga's forced to flash out, and Spirit Track's caught on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage, now getting back behind his supports. Oh my goodness, but is it going to be enough, TJ? They're chasing them on down. That's the double kill to the Yasuo to start the game. Not going 0-7, TJ. This is no Yasuo I've ever seen.
Well, you got to get out of bronze. I'm not going to lie to you.
Whoa. Oh, uncalled. Correct. Okay.
Tatomasi doing an incredibly good job that fight of finding the mobility engage. And like, even I was talking about the wind wall as a hard counter to Varus. The other thing Yasuo does when he's brought out in this ADC position, damage carry position in the bot lane, is that he has a ton of incredible mobility that you don't normally see down there outside of maybe, I guess, like an Ezreal. He's able to just snake through these waves and really, really harass the traditional AD carries that are played against him.
I think this position, he's playing bot. He's just in bot position. And he's making it look really good right now, because I think that's a great point to make, TJ, is that oftentimes a lot of these traditional attack damage carries, they're just very stationary. They're very immobile. They sit back, they shoot their big guns from a long range, their arrows or what have you. But this Yasuo, he's going to be getting up in your face, and already that is being felt right now. A lot of sums burned down on the bottom as well. Heal and flash for Spirit Tracks committed in that fight. There was a moment there they thought they could take it 2v3, and then that moment vanished. You know who's not vanishing? It's Diamond Crevasse. This is every single, and I'm not joking, every single game he has come top and burned flash. Every single time. K-Pulsar has just seen this jungler come out of the bush and go, oh, that's me flashing done.
Did you just see Spirit Tracks burn his entire kit into a wind wall?
Yep.
Because I did.
Yep.
And that feels bad.
That feels like the matchup.
I would also like to, on the subject of... Oh, hold this.
Ooh. Not seeing the knockup going through there as well. Okay, go. It's fine, TJ. It's not fine, TJ. This is the Olaf in the mid. Doesn't have level 6 yet. Cannot go immune with the Ragnarok. The chains are going to go back in, but that's the flash committed off the back of this. And the ignite is there, but not going to take him down. A lot of resources committed. This is a scrappy early game, TJ. My goodness.
Okay, on the subject of adjustments that Pepperdine have made, let me finish a color point. K-Pulsar gets one up top. On the subject of adjustments that Pepperdine have made, I really like the call to early gank bot lane from Diamond Crevasse, because it has been hard shoved by Spirit Tracks every single match. He keeps running all the way up to turret and just keeping that wave pin there, and it was about time the jungler showed up early and slapped him around. I'm really grateful that they exploited that weakness, because it was actually kind of upsetting to me last game. Spirit Tracks was able to get away with it for as long as he did. Deep breath.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think... Yes. No, I mean, I think as those players talk about they've got to reset as well. As casters, we have to do the same thing, especially in a game like this where there is so much action off the bat. We've got to kind of get our ducks in a row and try and make sure we're telling the stories here, because there are so many storylines already developing in this game, in this series. And now with the adaptation from Pepperdine here in this game, we're watching a game of chess. That's really what it comes down to, is they've now played enough games. They get a sense, a feel of what their opponents are doing or looking to do. And now it's who counters the counter.
Why are they playing chess?
It's like
Could
40
be
chess.
Go.
Oh,
or...
could be Go. It's definitely League of Legends, though.
League of Legends, yeah. We got there.
We did.
Drake up for grabs because of that early presence in lane. This Ocean Drake is, for the first time, I believe since game 1 of this series, scooped up on timer by Pepperdine. Very good bot side control.
I think that's because they feel confident now that, you know, they are going to have... actually, they don't have the Yasuo Gragas combo yet, so they're doing that even before level 6s have been reached, which is interesting.
Well, it's because they know there's nothing Spirit Tracks can do into it.
Yeah.
Because he was already down so significantly against the Yasuo, because of the character matchup as well. There's just not going to be a bot lane presence in that fight.
And they take full advantage. They pick up the first Drake here, which, as you mentioned, I think is a first for them here. Normally, they've just kind of opted to let that go, or University of San Francisco has done enough that they're able to get a good enough position. Ult's being blown now in the top. The World Ender not going to be able to finish that one up. Renekton lives this time, TJ. That's... maybe I'm speaking...
Oh, okay. So this was kind of a sacrifice play made by Kaga in order to get the Aatrox into this matchup up top.
Oh, no!
Whoa! Flow just gets decimated. Diamond Crevasse in from the jungle, hits like a freight train, and that's an easy kill over to Pepperdine onto the mid laner.
Who ganks the gankers, TJ? Joke's on you, it's Diamond Crevasse. I knew the answer before I even asked it. Oh, boy. And the funny thing is that the Blanc was like, I'm Flo. I'm feeling good. I know the pressure's been had. I'm going to make this saucy rotation into the jungle. Watch me, guys. And the Gragas just like, no. No.
Do not go with the flow. I cannot stress this enough. Every time Flo has gotten aggressive in this series, it has been hard punished. We've talked about it, and I hate to pin anything on any specific player, but Flo's macro positioning has given over so much money, so much map presence to Pepperdine across 3 games.
And I understand the idea of wanting to make the hero play, but a lot of this just feels let me finish. A lot of this just feels like they're used to playing against players who aren't going to punish it. It just feels like they're used to playing against worse teams. Was that the point you were going to make, TJ?
My infuriation comes from the fact that you're not going to kill the Renekton. Like, this is, what, level 7? Flo on LeBlanc? He's not going to be able to kill that Renekton before the Renekton gets behind turret, like, even if he finds the connection. So it just doesn't make sense to me as a rotate, even in an ideal world.
To be fair, the Renekton was on a scrap of HP. You're just sort of, supposed to be the insurance, the security to try and make it happen. Oh, bit of a misplay there on the cast, or decent positioning and reaction time from the side of University of San Francisco. Not going to be knocked out there. Not going to see the combo with the Yasuo and that last Whisper. We'll keep an eye on it, though, as it's one of my favorites in the game for sure.
You know I'm getting angry when I won't let you finish the sentence.
I do. But TJ, we need to keep toxic TJ at bay. Because again, we are watching collegiate esports here. And these players, again, are playing not in the most ideal situations. Normally, for a lot of them, they'd be on campus, they'd be side by side, they'd be able to communicate in person. But instead, they're at home making the best of it here and trying to make the best of a bad initiation in the bot lane. Oh boy. That was peppered. Okay. Okay.
Very, very poorly played by Evan Cakes. Nautilus hooking back into the set. The set can take that fight, and you don't have any intercept to stop Spiritrax from just raining in damage, which is, of course, exactly what he's going to do. Just kind of left out to dry there, Evan Cakes, but he put himself in this situation.
He did. He was punished for it.
He dried himself.
Yes. Yes. As the University of San Francisco now only down not even 1,000 gold, in fact. Almost even in terms of kills. So they're definitely still in this game here. They've got good scaling with the Varus, with the LeBlanc, with the set. The Olaf's going to fall off like a sack of potatoes, but we're not going to talk about that. Aatrox is good. Okay. All right. I dig it.
I mean, the thing the Olaf has been doing is been hard farming. The downside is he hasn't applied this anywhere yet. There's an attempt.
And not an attempt, but a success. God. Success in the... Oh!
He walked back in!
Oh, tomahawk to the face. You hate to see it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so trading back and forth. Scrappy fights in the mid. Flo gets burned down, knows he's dead from the start of that fight with the ignite ticks. But there is actually zero reason you should die to the Olaf there.
I'm glad that they're getting something out of the early farm, because that was necessary. And many times, especially if there was a while earlier in this season where you were seeing a lot of Olaf in the LPL. And one of the things that would keep happening is these Olafs would turbo farm, get out ahead early, and then just not be able to do anything with it, because it can be very difficult to find good engagements on the Olaf. That was a very good fight, and I'm happy that they're actually getting the reward for the investment. The kind of question mark for me is that San Francisco should have gotten that Drake right there. They should have been able to do something with the map presence they just earned, and instead they had to back off, they had to reset, Pepperdine, get the Drake, and now Spiritrax has taken some risks again to try and get something out of the bot lane, and they're about to be punished.
Oh boy, the ult is going through, but the TP committed as well. The knock-up follow-up there with the ult from the Yasuo. We are trying to get the support back underneath the turret, and the TPs are coming in from across the board. The rotation coming in from the mid as well. Olaf is here to join in the fray, but that's the kill, the pick up for Pepperdine. And now they're continuing to chase back. The University of San Francisco cannot get the knock-up, but this Renekton will not stop. This may be a little bit too far, though, TJ. Potential punish from San Francisco, but no. Not biting off more than they could chew. Pepperdine there with the kill.
I appreciate how Spiritrax's response to being threatened in lane is consistently to just run at the person who's lowest HP on the other side.
Oh no.
And it worked there. Now, though, the re-engage was an error.
Oh boy, this set is too big, and he's gonna fall, but he's gonna give another kill over, and not just any kill, one on this star top laner over to Spirit Tracks, and this is actually big. Rift Herald usage down here as well, but almost kind of want to see Vera stick around for these. Never mind, the Yasuo was there. Get out, young sir. Oh, and the plays go down by 2 seconds. Lol.
I don't agree with that Rift Herald usage or that engage. This is now very dicey, and that's totally thrown away by jungle difference. They got it killed, but they really should have known that the Yasuo was going to be on timer back in lane. So it was not the right place to drop that Rift Herald, and the communication should have been there for that, because Spirit Tracks obviously knew it.
I think the thought process there was plates are about to tick down, let's get them, but they were literally off by 3 seconds on that drop, so not even getting that, not even getting anything there. And then you burn your flash and the Ragnarok to try and pick up a kill in a bad situation, and you just get ulted down by the Syndra. Oh man, it's moments of brilliance. It's some good smart plays from San Francisco, and then they just get a little bit too big for their britches and they overextend just a touch. And then every single time Pepperdine's punishing them for it. I think this is just the example of University of San Francisco is not necessarily used to playing against teams who will challenge them in these situations.
It's definitely exposing the hardest part of playing on an amateur, on a developing team and a developing scene, is the team shot calling and the communication. Because anyone can build a team out of 5 solo queue stars, you can get some very high elo players to play together, and it will be reasonably effective. But if you're playing against another coordinated team, then what makes up the difference between two teams that have reasonably good players is always going to be the strategy and the communication.
But sometimes it just comes down to a 1v1, TJ.
Oh!
But sometimes it just comes down to a 1v1. Oh, no need to communicate there, but here we go. The initiation from the setup, the back, the flash, absolutely brilliant. That's gonna be the quick pickup, and now trying to get something back onto the carry. Oh my goodness, with the cask, and the Yasuo's there with the ult. Oh no! What looked so good for San Francisco was turned on its head. My goodness, TJ.
What a play in the mid lane. What a response from Diamond Crevasse. Finding exactly the picks necessary to turn that back. They get 2, both bot laners picked up for only the cost of wind chill. The only sign of life from University of San Francisco this game is in the top lane, where you are seeing a much better game for K-Pulsar, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's enough. A beefy Aatrox come late game cannot answer for the damage that is being done.
3-0-2 already. The carry here for this Yasuo. Sansamasi just needs to continue doing what he's doing, capitalizing on the setup, the knockup, whether it be from the Nautilus, the Gragas. He's got all the opportunities in the world, and his supports are now getting tanky enough that he can just start to play in these fights. You've got enough threats. You've got the Syndra, you've got the Renekton. You've got to deal with one of them at some point. Here we go, right back in on the bottom on timer. This does not stop. The rotation is there, and it is beautiful, giving over more gold to these carries, and slipping away are the game 4 hopes and dreams for the University of San Francisco.
And I remember at the start of this game, I said that the Yasuo was solo queue nonsense. I would like to take the apology stand now. Into this matchup, it is disgusting. And wind chill into any matchup is disgusting.
And it's only going to get worse, because Pepperdine is now on sole point at the 18-minute mark, an ever-present itch that needs to be scratched at some point. I mean, San Francisco, you got to deal with this, but there's maybe too many things to deal with. As still in the mid, forcing out else. The Aatrox comes in the flank with the, oh my goodness, the flash is there. The Dark and Blade will not connected. Now Yasuo is going in underneath the turret, trying to pick this one up, and I cannot believe this. The wind chill is still living, and now Evan Cakes is trying to survive here, create opportunities. He will die for his carry, but it is oh so worth. And now Diamond Crevasse needs to get himself out of there, but he's a Gragas, he's a big boy, but he can still shuffle with the best of them. Oh my goodness. It's the story of almost, TJ. It's almost amazing from San Francisco, but just not quite.
Windchill swapped out his gaming chair in between the break. He is back, and this has been an incredible game for him. The amount of focus that University of San Francisco has tried to throw onto Pepperdine's mid laner is incredible, and every time Windchill at least gets even trade in damage, usually more. Even when he goes down without a kill, he's doing so much on death that his teammates are able to trade positive, which is a feat of communication excellence in and of itself. But the individual mechanics on display for Windchill this game have just been beautiful.
Just been solid, stellar from start to finish, making the Syndra look oh so good. Got the QSS early, no greedy build here from him. Wanted to make sure he could survive in this fight, and it has made such a difference here. Just seeing how he's been able to hold true. And yes, that is now a mid-turret pickup here for the University of San Francisco. They are still fighting back in this game. This is not a blowout by any means, but it's only going to go downhill if pickups like this can keep on happening. Many resources committed, but maybe I'm speaking too soon as the help is arriving here. K-Pulsar with the World Ender is trying to continue to stay alive, and the set is going to be trying to back him on out, but oh no, K-Pulsar going the wrong way.
He had to rotate from Flow, but they have no vision of the river, so he doesn't feel safe pushing it. Flow absolutely nukes Diamond Crevasse, though. And that means it's an even trade at the end of the day. You're seeing the benefit of this set if they get to Dead Man's Plate. That is kind of the power spike for support set. But once you build Dead Man's Plate, the game is winnable because of the speed at which you can rotate across the map. He strides now, Paul.
Oh, yes. No baby steps here. We are all in and trying to go all in the mid, but the shield, the only thing keeping this set up in this, and my goodness, Windchill is starting to hit like a truck. It's doing 100 miles per hour. Please, sir, get out of the way.
I'm still not sure how Diamond Crevasse died as fast as he did, but it's a good sign for Flow that he's still got that kind of damage, because they're going to need it over on the University of San Francisco. They traded a lot of these early Drakes for the Rift Heralds, though. And speaking of investments, this Rift Herald, both of them actually, is very disappointing. They've gotten turret damage and not a whole lot else, forced it felt like by timer or by necessity to throw them early.
Yeah, not really in a position there to commit to following up. They've been burned before, advancing too far into the University, or into Pepperdine's jungle here, so I don't necessarily blame them too much. I mean, at least they're getting that damage. They're creating potential openings in the future, but potential is not now, and it's not guaranteed. And now, when I look at the map, and I look towards this next Drake, and I'm thinking about Soul Point, I have to think to myself, is University of San Francisco going to be in a good enough place to really contest this? Do they want to even contest this? I don't know.
I don't think they have to. Like, Cloud Drake is very good, don't get me wrong. But I don't think University of San Francisco can win it. So I think they have to just look for an isolated pick, a split push during this time, see if they can get a turret or something in mid lane. Because they're not going to win a 5v5, not at this pace.
They're going to try and look to pick something up here, though, and maybe if they can find the opening. They've got the vision here onto Windchill, who just sidesteps everything, but the cask is going to absolutely whiff. And instead, the isolated member is not on the side of Pepperdine. It is San Francisco now back. Full retreat into the jungle. Flow on the flank, trying to make anything happen. But that's the pickup there. Oh, my goodness. Tag.
Windchill. Again, he's incredible. Using the blast cone mechanics to separate an unruly set from his team and just ends the fight before it begins, right when I thought he might be caught out.
Ooh, and Chains dodged as well. Windchill on the front line, but it matters not. That's the first pickup going on in. Now he's doing the follow-up into the back line. It is this Yasuo ripping and tearing. That's the double kill. That's going to be the Drake, and this could be once again the beginning of the end for Pepperdine. Oh my goodness. Add Baron to the board. Let's go. Let's go, TJ. Why not?
The respawns are about 30 seconds at this point, and they still have 15 seconds without the jungler. for University of San Francisco, and Pepperdine know this. They're going to start burning it. Spirit Tracks is still in the area. Maybe he can find the lucky steal. That's literally what the game's riding on.
Needs to be more than luck here, TJ. Skill needs to come into play. Can he find it? Good job trying to separate it. Knocking from Nasuo is not going to connect, though, and they are getting a little bit damaged here from the Baron. Can they go on over and find it? And he does!
My God! Pepperdine! A little bit too greedy. They didn't have Smite up because of the fight around Drake. I didn't think it was worth mentioning because they had enough damage burst between the Syndra. I thought there was no way that gets stolen away. But Baron on 42 HP is ripped by Spirit Tracks. Right as I say, it's their only hope in the game. Spirit Tracks comes through for San Francisco.
All 5 members alive. All 5 with that Baron buff. Damage being done in lanes. So some split push potential is real. This is San Francisco's opportunity to get back involved. This is their opportunity to not have this be a 3-0 finish. This is their opportunity to not go out in a clean sweep in the finals here. The West Coast Conference. Let's see if they can get it done. They were given a gift here, TJ. Let's see what they do with it as the fight is breaking out now in the mid lane. The Aatrox are going to start this one off. And this is absolutely huge. The damage from Pepperdine is still going on in, but they're trying to find the key carries. Yes, they can. Off the back of it. Here we go. San Francisco, this is your opportunity. Do not stop. Keep up the pressure. And the Aatrox, who we may be discounted a little bit early, is continuing to try and take them down. But no! The turn from the Renekton goes in, finds the stun. I cannot believe it. An overextension. No, TJ, the gift was thrown in the fire. A little bit too greedy. A bridge too far. And Scott says no.
Scott sees them all so packed together and says, hold on, why are we running? Spirit Tracks starts that fight stunned, gets dropped down to about a quarter of his HP before the fight even really begins. They win that fight, University of San Francisco, but they disrespect the level, the gold lead that has been building up all game for Pepperdine. And Scott is certainly one of the premier recipients of it. 5 and 3 coming out to the laning phase, coming out to that fight.
Oh, I was with them, TJ. I was with San Francisco. I see them chasing things down. I see that low HP Nautilus, and I'm like, yes, let's go. Nail in the coffin. Can they do it? Get back into this game. But then there's a Renekton who can slice and dice all day long. His HP bar's in a great spot. They've got that Drake to boot. And that's San Francisco now, I think, probably out of this one.
They are desperately behind and now without the Baron advantage. Well, I won't sugarcoat it. That was their only path back in. If there's one thing we draw away from this series, I think it is Spirit Tracks. I think it is K-Pulsar. They have been heroic for the University of San Francisco all tournament long. With the staunch support of Kaga, you can see this team growing and going far in the future. This is absolutely a victory for development, I think, even if they don't win here today.
And even if they don't walk away with the W, they lost to a team in Pepperdine who looked unflappable. I think that's the resilience of this squad. Even when things didn't quite go their way, they never looked tilted. They never looked like lacking confidence, but not even confidence, because like they don't really overextend either. They're just making
the clarity.
It's the clarity.
And that comes from really, really coordinated shot calling, which is something throughout all amateur esports, not just League of Legends. It is really hard to get a team, an amateur team, to recognize one shot caller, one voice within the team. But you can see that Pepperdine have a system worked out. And when it comes to how are we going to play this fight, they're all on the same page. And they know what they can and cannot do in any match day. That's what separates teams at the amateur level from teams at the professional level. And Pepperdine, I think, are beginning to cross that line, which is a very, very good sign for these developing players.
Absolutely. The confidence of the West Coast Conference is strong here. Looking forward towards the future, their future in collegiate esports and in the eventual return of C-Law. Very excited to see all these teams competing so far. And here, of course, in our finals, Still putting on a show for us and for all the folks at home. Neither one of these teams can really be disappointed in their performance here today. Yes, we can harp on some individual plays here and there, but I think overall both of these teams put it all on the line in this final game. And now, again, there's a chance. There is a chance that Pepperdine could overstep on the final hurdle. Dive in underneath an inhib turret a little bit too far, get punished for it. It's been close. We've seen the set plays, maybe. Right. Look, there's a chance.
Say it again. I'm going to say it again. Here, you can rate my recreation of it. This Elder Drake's going to be picked up, and the only hope is Spirit Tracks finds a lucky steal. Do you think it'll happen twice?
I mean, you never want to hope on lightning striking twice, but at the same time, it's kind of your only option here. But it's going to be tough when the man who did it, who got it done the first time, is dead and on the gray screen. And that was the opening that Pepperdine needed. Maybe the beginning of the end, as that is going to be the knock of the additional kill. That is going to be the hopes and dreams of San Francisco going by the wayside, or maybe I should say the Bayside, as that is going to be 4 members dead. That is going to be the opening towards this Elder, and that is the last thing that Pepperdine needs to seal the deal on this game, this series, this championship.
And again, if you're walking away with a criticism for the University of San Francisco, it is their macro. There is no reason that Spirit Tracks should be in that position. They had no control of the top side of the map, and he was all alone farming in vision in the mid lane. That is asking to be picked up, and there was nobody to support him. And Pepperdine punish again. Pepperdine again spot the opportunity and find exactly how to exploit it.
Oh my goodness, and the hits just keep coming because Baron is back up once again, and this time Diamond Crevasse is going to pay all the respect. He's going to sit there on the flank. Scott is there as well. They know they have enough damage at this point to be able to burn through this Baron easy peasy. All 5 members are still alive, though. This could be the potential.
They're being so careful.
Oh,
they're being so careful of Spirit Tracks this time.
Oh, the Olaf's just gone, though. Blink and you miss it. He's absolutely deleted, pulling off of Baron because they can. 2 quick kills. Perfect target switching, and the Yasuo. Oh my goodness, he is a fiend on the Rift right now, and Spirit Tracks is sitting in the bush being like, well, I did it once, maybe I can do it again, but no, lightning will not strike twice. This is going to be the Baron. This is going to be the pickup here for the University of Pepperdine. Pepperdine University, there we go. And that is likely going to be the GG.
Smite available this time. Diamond Crevasse, very low on HP, having to play this careful as Spirit Tracks continues to just be a real pain. As I said, heroic for his team, heroic for the University of San Francisco throughout the evening. I think he has to be the player, the standout player, especially after that last Baron steal. But even he knows there's simply no way back into this one.
29-10 is your score line. 10,000 and a little more gold lead here. 60K in the bank of Pepperdine, and this is going to be. I mean, this has been a long. They've crossed their T's and dotted their I's here, TJ. They were not going to throw this one away. I'm going to be honest. Another team. If I have any criticism of Pepperdine in this, is that they probably could have ended this a lot sooner. But again, they didn't want to give any opportunity to throw. They wanted to make this a foolproof victory. They wanted to just put a bow on it, and I can't fault them for that.
They're being very safe. The additional pickup of the Baron was not necessary. They could have just ended off Elder probably, but then maybe someone gets cheeky, free farms the Baron while you're not looking, that kind of thing. So, I appreciate the safety. Here comes the end. Pepperdine University with a dominant performance in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, here in the WCC Gaming in Place Challenge, giving an opportunity for these players to finish out their seasons in style. While CLOL may be not on right now, we still want to give one of these teams a chance to put their stamp on the season, and Pepperdine is doing just that. The ult from the set can do nothing as the incredible damage is coming on in. Pepperdine doesn't even blink, unfazed, and with that, TJ, that is going to be the end of our series. The championship going to the University of Pepperdine. Pepperdine University, yes!